What's going on, YouTubes? Time for the recap. Happy Friday. So let's get into it. As we start on the axe, once in a while, I'll throw out a little funny snippet for you guys. 19,786 today on Q should be simple. I don't feed you guys for free over here, but I'll give you little snippets just for funsies that I post in my chat on the X, and we had a great short call. Remember, this was way before it happened. This was at 8 in the morning, 30 minutes before market open. Let's get into something else that was before market open. Here are the top step P&Ls today. We did 6,500 between all accounts. Not a bad day. As we see in the Discord here, this morning we were going ham on breakdown about 6 in the morning. I like to come in and talk about exactly where the breaks are going to be on NQ, or what we're at least looking for, right? All the pretext for where they're going, why they're going there. We put huge emphasis on 19,936.11 today, under yesterday's lows. If we got a little over that, it'd be a temporary bounce. But regardless, we were coming down to, of course, 19,760, 740s. That was my final target on the day once we got and lost yesterday's lows of NQ. Again, this is at 6 in the morning, way before the data of PCE. I go through a whole breakdown in the Discord for the friends. I give them the exact huge over under of yesterday's lows. I show the sentiment, where the scalps are going to be, all playing out even with extra anchor VWAP confirmation. And we talk about trades nonstop. So let's get into it. So today we were super bearish, right? If you got the YouTube yesterday, we gave you the levels for so, and holy moly, did we leave a little bit of money on the table. 404 points to be exact. So at least we made 6,500. That's okay. So from the jobs data and the fibs, we did a couple notes here, and here's what it looks like on the real chart. Looks a little messy on the 1 minute. Let's get into the 5 here. That's not the 5. There we go. So as we move into what we were looking at, I was just looking at the data, right? Put some notes on for my friends. It said stay under for short bias. Of course, yesterday's lows, as we've been talking about, is right there as well. And you can see from the PCE data candle, broke down to the 1618, retrace, gave us a little scare candle, and then got trapped under that 100 EMA, under yesterday's lows, and of course under the golden pocket of the PCE. That was the definite resistance we wanted to watch. Now to the downside, we came all the way to our final extension, causing a mini bounce there. Not very much to the downside on the Qs. Now, a really big trigger for us to stay short was, of course, the volatility index. That one thing that we do technical analysis on that everybody else says they can't, and it's impossible to do TA and the VIX. Yeah, well, we called the bounce at $17.16 right here. And as you can see, we had a cluster gap, and I said 21 bucks is what I left my group with today. So we had I said stay short for the whole sentiment until 1963 gap is filled, and then we started breaking out like crazy, and I'm like, all right, guys, it's a dump day. She's going to the cluster of $21, and we had a cluster set up right here, which I don't get into too much on YouTube. These are specific algorithms that we teach, and the VIX was going up there. We actually had one other one too, a big wide gap that it's not done. It has not gotten to yet, so more upside for the volatility index. And one or two other things let's go over on the short recap. We had a daily gap open. I seen a lot of YouTubers yesterday talking about, oh, the gap fill, it got close enough. That constitutes as a gap fill. Pay attention. This is how this works. Go into the gap. It did not tag. You look at this top right here, no hit, right? We call that on my channel, in our group, a shy. Algorithms are very specific with their shying, okay? We see this on every time frame, all the time, every day. We can find certain shies. A shy is when price action comes very close to your indicator, a gap, a VWAP, a moving average. It doesn't matter what it is. Gets close, doesn't tag it, and then runs away from it. Let's do a small example right here, right? Here's the 100 EMA in the green. The minute chart broke under, went to go test it, missed it, shied it, broke down, went to go test it, missed it, shied it. So on the run up that it came back and finally tagged, it had a rejection measure, okay? It broke through, no confirmation, finally hit it, snap, okay? Shying happens all the time, and we have certain strategies of trade to trade those. Now, with the shying, keep that in mind, right? We came down yesterday, not today, to almost a gap fill. Look at the low. Here's the gap fill indicator telling you the gap's 564.89. Shied it, which means we had a great chance to come back down to here today, and that was our big precursor for shorts. Now, we're on the NQ side because NQ had a great setup too, but shorting out of the gap to the fill, right? Look at that. Open, slammed into the gap, and once it got under that gap, goodbye with the algos. She was gone with the wind. So we had the sneaking suspicion, because we understand gaps and shies and algorithms way more than very big YouTubers on here that are incorrect all the time. No offense to them, but hey, come on, stop by. We'll teach you how it's done. So these algorithms did have the magnet. We pulled through. We looked for 2 different scenarios. If you watched the last couple videos, we looked at 1, 2, and potential hold 3. The hold had to do what? What did we say? Hold the 10 SMA, hold the gap. Did it do those things? Obviously not. So you wouldn't be looking for the upside. Anything under the gap, under the 10 SMA daily, would hunt for this golden pocket. Okay? We talked about this being a very big precursor, the top of the gap candle here, right? Because if we broke down inside the golden pocket, we were going to go to the GP, or into the fib. We're going to the GP, into the golden pocket. So anything under 564.88 was coming to the GP. Another huge sentiment shift that we had, right? So under the 1618 failed, snap, and once that candle was snapped right here, down to the GP, okay? That was an untagged GP. We talk about this on the channel day in, day out. Algorithms beat out your opinion every time. I don't care if you think that's a gap fill or you have a structured zone or yada, yada, yada. Algorithms reign supreme. So what are we doing next? Well, we talked a lot about a certain candle here, I don't know, about 30 days straight, the 911 no GP. And we said, well, if this 911 no GP candle becomes there we go, the magnet, which we lose 555.39, we're going to come down to that GP. Let's take a little look at what happened last time we were near this golden pocket. Oh, weird. A golden pocket that isn't hit. Do we call that a shy? Did we not just talk about this? Where is the dump going? Well, I'll see you guys at 550 to 547.50, because that golden pocket right here and the deviation -2 and the neon green down here are going to be set up targets if we lost the bounce, right? Furthermore, remember what we were saying about the 200s. Now, everybody's been talking about the 200s. This is nothing new, nothing special, but we were looking at the 200 moving averages, SMA and EMA. And if we came back to the 200s and could not mount, which I just put it on there, it's in the pink dash line right here, that 200 SMA. If we didn't mount that, we were still heavy biased to the downside, right? And we have this 911 GP that I've been just dead set on tagging and not letting go of it. It's going to come back down here, 547.67 to 549.50. Now, I don't care if it comes down to the top of the GP and doesn't tag, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Not a big deal to me. All I know is that I know what shy algorithms are here, and I know once a certain level breaks down where it's going, because algorithms carry magnets. This stuff is super fun. Come join us if you want to learn about it. So the last but not least, I don't want to scare you guys. I'm not going to give too much prediction here. I just wanted to show you what we do here in the Discord and why. I'm not going to tell you why, but I'll tell you where. 99. It's a very interesting candle. At the bottom of this candle, there's an algo displacement where there's also a very large magnet. So if we actually get a recessionary hard knee-jerk down, we will see 18,300 to 18,500 in this area. We have a huge disposition algorithm here during that shy at the 200 that I have marked off in a couple other different charts, and that is one of our huge lower targets. If you look at this candle right here, which I haven't covered on much, I'm going to cover it tomorrow on our free YouTube class, noon Central. If you want to join in, please come to the channel tomorrow at noon if you want to be eligible to win a Top Step account, or I think we're giving away memberships too. Why not? 2 BRT for free. Comment on any of the videos Monday through today. Comment on all of them, because I'm going to pick a random video and we're going to select winners. We give away cash prizes every Saturday. So this candle right here, this is the big recessionary. I don't think we're going to get here anytime soon, but this is one sneaky little guy that shied the GP back here, which we keep talking about, just for you guys to keep in mind. Maybe if I sprinkle enough little hints right here, you'll catch on to what we're talking about. But long story short, we have a very interesting downside now to catch to 18,000, like 4 to 5. And that algorithm that I have down here into 18,003 it has a couple counterparts anywhere between 18,003 to 5. It's a little hard to explain without giving away the system, so I can't do that. But 18,004 to 5, we do have a very interesting road ahead of us to see that downside, because the 200 rejection points, remember, was a dead cat bounce if we didn't mount the 200s, right? So last but not least, let's just get into SPY real quick on the daily chart. So I do want to talk about a little bit of the shine, because remember, if we didn't hold that gap, we didn't hold the 10 SMA, we didn't hold the 3 uptrend, and we broke through the gap in the GP, we're going to start hunting for further downside. Well, that last target being 911 candle right here has one other target associated with it. Besides that 911 candle, and that's the gap. So there is a tiny little squeak gap here, just a little guy right here, a little lower than that. So if there's recessionary huge dumps, I just don't see it going 535.74, at least not in a straight line, because we all know how the stock market works. There's no such thing as a straight line unless we get some kind of insane war news, insane recessionary news, something, likely like the Canada news that we got today, where the Canada's just done with America and blah, blah, blah. Those news pieces right there, those are the biggies, right? And I'm fine for it. I've needed this market crash forever. I've been sitting on cash since 2019, and I'm upset about it. I'm ready to get back into the market in the next 3 years with heavy long terms, which I will be teaching and showing everybody what I'm getting into leading into 2029, 2030. It's going to be a really fun couple of years here at Boiler Room Trading. So if you guys are curious to learn this stuff, the link is in the description. If you want to win a free Top Step account, join us tomorrow. Comment on these videos, and above all, just tune into the next free YouTube video. Ask questions in the comments. I'll cover it for free. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Trade safe.